What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with the old ass Christmas sweater, and I'm here with my boy Miles Cunningham, dating expert guru. Brother, go ahead and let them know what you do and all of that.
Man, it's your boy Miles Cunningham. Shout out to Lucario, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Bad Boy membership. That's what we do. We get guys gamed up, man. We keep guys gamed up. We get guys to understand their own value. You know, our slogan is "The truth is inside you." So you know, it's really about understanding your value as a man and what you're here to do on this earth, right? Like being on your purpose and all that type of stuff. And to understand that dealing with women is not about dealing with women. It's actually about, you know, improving yourself as a man and, you know, really coming into your own with manhood and confidence and all that type of stuff.
All right. And we'll talk about the documentary that you guys have out. That's really good with a lot of guys from our sector in it.
Yeah,
but
man.
What I want to do is, before we get in there, is you made a video response to me because we're talking about why a lot of guys were breaking up during coronavirus, right? In relationships in the black male spaces. If you look at the white dating coaches, for example, a lot of their content is based on, you know, relationship stuff or trying to get an ex back. Right. The black guys, you know, African American dating coaches, black guys like, you know, you and Lucario, it's more about approaching, you know, you say maybe hooking up, maybe long term every now and then. Yeah. But this conversation we're having is a little bit different because it is about long term relationships. Let me ask you a question as a black dating coach. Why don't you think that a lot of long term relationship content is out there for black men or for the younger generation in comparison to the white dating coaches?
Well, man, that's a complicated question because listen, when we look at black people, black America, and the black experience in America, man, it's a whole different thing because slavery did a number on us, bro. So when you talk about financials, when you talk about mental health, right? When you talk about, you know, the lineage of certain types of mental health, right? You know, when it comes to how we see ourselves in reference to other people, how we, you know, our level of confidence in reference to other people, right? Like I was thinking about it the other day. Like I looked at this video on YouTube called "Why All of the Black Shows Got Canceled off of UPN," right? And I know this is kind of going. It seems like you're going on a tangent, but understand that there was a whole bunch of shows like Moesha and Girlfriends and all of these shows on the WB and UPN and all of those. Every single time, you want to know what happened? The viewership increased into the millions of people watching those black shows. And then what did they do? They switched the network to Dawson's Creek and other white shows. But those networks, what they do is they start everything on a low level. They bring in the viewership. And then it's like a bait and switch. And it's the same thing with slavery. They brought in free labor, built the country, and then switched it. You understand what I'm saying? So reason why I bring that up is because we have to understand something about the black experience is that deep down in our psyche, there's almost no space for long-term planning. You understand? We it's like the same thing with the issues of Pookie and Ray Ray and early pregnancy. It's like these young people, they don't know if they're gonna live to see 30, so they're trying to have babies now. I want to know how it feels to be a father now because I don't know if I'm gonna make it to 25.
Right.
You understand? So I'll have a baby at age 16 or 17 or whatever, and it's not the healthiest thing. But you have to understand that our experience in America, it's not an easy one, bro. So trying to explain why, you know, the white people are trying to get exes back and trying to have long-term marriages and all that, they can plan on it because they have a level of confidence inbred in their psyche and in their whole experience that says, well, I'm white. I'm protected by the police. I'm protected by my government. I'm protected by my society. So I can plan for long-term things. You understand? A black person, on the other hand, it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Right.
Let's turn up. You know what I'm saying? Let's get drunk. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole feel. It's
right.
Not to mention even something even before that. Remember, even before all of that, there's something called there was this play I saw called post-traumatic slave syndrome. That's the name of the play. They explained something about people from tropical climates and people from colder climates, right? So the people from colder climates are more strategic and they plan more. Why? Because in the colder, you have to think about the Caucasian people, right? The myth is that they're in the mountains of Caucasus or whatever. But the fact is that they went to a colder climate. Okay. In colder climates, you can only plant foods for 3 months. You can only plant agriculture for 3 months. So you have your 3 months to plant and reap. Then you have to plan for 9 months on how to survive for 9 months. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why you have kingdoms, because after we plant the food, we got to build a structure to protect it. So that's why you got castles and all of that stuff. Now in the Caribbean and in Africa and all that, we're a little bit more lax. We're a little bit more relaxed to everything because in a warmer climate, food grows all the time. So that we don't have to necessarily plan.
Right.
And because and that's just something going back like before even slavery. So there's an inherent and innate difference between colored and white people in this planet, period. You feel me?
And that explains even the strategy from, like, you look at the black dating coaches, it's like you understand it, but you understand the audience is more or less thinking the same thing, especially black men, right? So, and that's going to go into our topic, because the video that you made to me a few months ago is like the coronavirus. The reason why all these breakups were happening, you know, you see Tyrese just broke up with his wife, a lot of folks separating, and it's two things you pointed out. One is the coronavirus is exposing a lack of game that a lot of brothers have,
right?
And that a lot of brothers don't understand the responsibility that they have in the relationships, who they are, and what the woman's role is. Let's talk about why are those two things so important?
Well, see, the thing is, it's like, I think for a lot of men, we've been kind of put to sleep, or we've been set up to depend on the intelligence of women, right? And not to say that women aren't intelligent, but it is my firm belief that women are not natural leaders. You understand what I'm saying? So I think we have to put more of the responsibility on ourselves as men to lead women, to coach women, to give women game, to, you know, allow women to trust in us, right? And so that means when things go bad, when things go wrong, we have to maintain a level of calm, right? We have to maintain a level of confidence and strength to say, hey, lean on me. I got you. I know you're emotional right now. I know the pandemic is messing everything up in society and this, that, and the third, but I want you to lean on me. I want you to you know, put your trust in me and let me figure it out. And of course you can help me, because like I said, women are intelligent, but they're not leaders. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes what I think is men, especially young men these days, they think that, oh yeah, you know, they listen to a song like Miss Independent from Neo, and oh yeah, I'm glad she got her own. And yeah, she probably got her own, but she still needs leadership, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like I remember, you know, I moved in with a chick, and she made more money than me, but things didn't start clicking until I created a budget for both of us. You understand? She made more money than me, right? Initially, it was an issue because she's looking at it like, well, I make more money, and he's trying to, you know, sectionalize and divide my money and this, that, and the third. But when month after month, when she saw that we were saving money, all the bills were paid, the kids were happy and clothed, and she got her hair and nails done, and we still had leftover bread, she was looking at me like, oh, so that's what a man does. You understand? That's what a leader does. And you know, like I said, initially it seemed funny to her because I made less money, but I still had the leadership and the logic to get us through those tough times. Do you see what I'm saying?
See, let me kind of go with this, because like a guy like Tyrese has a lot of money,
Right.
Been divorced now twice in like the last like 5 years. He has money, has a lot of fame, a lot of things like that.
Right.
But what I'm starting to see is that a lot of these guys don't. It seems like, okay, because a lot of young guys right now, especially in the black community, they think like, okay, if I attain this amount of money,
right,
and I have this amount of wealth, then that automatically secures me, right?
Exactly.
And then it goes back to the lack of game. Like there's money,
exactly,
and status, like, and I'm a person that believes this too. How important is money and status, and how important is game?
Bro, let me tell you something. I tend to feel that game is the most important thing.
Okay,
game is the most important thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you go back to the old proverbs, they say that a fool and his money are soon parted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what that means is that no matter how much money you have, if you don't have the game, if you don't have the strategy, if you don't have the intelligence to manage it and know how to deal with it and know how to move and what to say and who to align yourself with and things like that, all that money will go away. All that money will go away. But here's the thing with somebody who got game. I could start out with nothing, right? And elevate my financial status simply with what I have in my brain. You
right.
Get what I'm saying? And that's the difference between, how certain guys talk about high value and then certain guys talk about game. It's like the thing with game is that, like, for example, a lot guys might be at a rooftop party and the rooftop party costs $50 to get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of the guys that are in that party, they're there because they have the money to get into the party. Mm-hmm. Right? They have the status and they have the money to pay the admission to get into the party, right? Now you have a guy with game, he don't have the money, but he last week he met the guy that promotes that party. Mm-hmm. He brought value to him in some sort of way. He's like, yo, I have an Instagram where, I built up my Instagram to 100,000 followers. And if you let me into the party, you could promote your party on my Instagram or whatever it is. Now he used his game to bring value to someone who he needed something from. So now he's in that party without being in the same tax bracket as any of those guys. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? And we all know somebody like that, somebody who got the gift of gab, somebody who has that hustle mentality to find themselves in places where they really shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. But because they have that mind, because they have that intelligence, they're standing there just like you are. And you're looking at them like, where does dude come from? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, like, game is like, you know how they say, you give a man a fish and he could eat for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, mm-hmm. understand, he could feed his whole family and eat for the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. The teaching, the skill of fishing, that's game, right? Mm-hmm. The fish is the money, right? The fish is the value that I have right now, but who's there to say that I have something in my mind and in my heart, and that hustle mentality to actually keep me all fished up. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's why game is so important.
And I would argue myself that is a part of being high value, is having
superior game. Definitely.
Yes, because the having the soft skills to be able to communicate. Shout out to brother Antoine Wade. Those things are important, and it comes back to your initial talking point about responsibility, because I know we don't talk about a lot of relationships ideas in the black spaces, but obviously you do have a lot of black men that are in relationships that are struggling with relationships, and this whole idea of, now you laid the groundwork for understanding the game, understanding your intelligence, how to maneuver.
Right.
Let's talk about responsibility in relationships. You talked about that a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. Are you responsible for the woman in a relationship? Things like that. It's a very controversial question. Why is that a controversial question there?
Okay, well, the controversy comes in how guys see things these days, right? Now, earlier I said something about how guys have been kind of duped or tricked into putting more trust into the intelligence of a female, right? To the point where they think that the leadership responsibilities are 50-50. So they think, oh, well, she could lead and I could lead, and it's a 50-50 thing, and she could do what I do, and ultimately they have the thought that men and women are equal, right? Like that's what these feminists and social justice warriors would have you believe, that anything that a woman could do, a man can do, and vice versa, right? But what happens is, when that happens, right, and then let's just say the female is one of those females who, maybe she got her master's or her doctorate, and she actually makes more money than the guy. He starts to feel like, well, I can relinquish responsibility to her, and I could sit on my ass and play video games and be a house dad or something like that. Like you can't just let the responsibility go away, right? And then so after that happens, then the controversy also says that, well, why I gotta have all the responsibility as a man? And what's her responsibility? And if I have all the responsibility, then she gets a pass to do whatever she want to do. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, it's not that she gets a pass to do whatever she want to do, and it's not that I'm excusing women from doing negative things. Right. But what I'm saying is that it takes the man to set the groundwork. Mm-hmm. It takes the man to set like the base rules, the foundational rules of the relationship. So she has an understanding coming into the relationship where she stands and what her role is, and then what your role is. Once you kind of have that situated, that's when you can build. You understand? Mm-hmm. Without that, there's no foundation, because it's just like having it's just like getting a job. When you get a job, they tell you all the rules. They tell you what time you got to come in, the dress code. They give you employee handbook and all of that, right? Mm-hmm. That's the man is the employer. Mm-hmm. I truly believe like the man is the employer, and I'm not excusing the employee to do anything that he wants. What I'm doing is I'm setting the rules. I'm letting them know what it is. Mm-hmm. Right. So as we move forward, now we can build, because now you know your role and I know I know. So now we can build. But see, if what's happening with the whole pandemic situation is that we thought it was 50-50. We thought the roles were ambiguous. We thought you could do this and I could do that, and anything goes. So now when the pandemic hit, it's like, okay, so who's supposed to do this? And who's well, I thought you was gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But if we're both equal, then you could have done it. No, I didn't do it. You should have done it. And then arguments, and then problems, and then this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Because here's something that a lot of people don't realize, right? Is that the reason why social justice warriors have the luxury of trying to push the narrative that men and women are equal is because of modern day conveniences and technology. You understand? What people need to realize about the pandemic is that the pandemic is like a precursor or a window to show us the type of things that can happen if society goes to hell. You understand? The type of, because let's just say the pandemic was something worse than it was, where people just didn't, have symptoms of the flu. Like people just straight up started dropping dead or turning into zombies, or really made this whole situation into an apocalypse, like one of the movies be trying to show us, right? What happened? Are men and women equal then?
No.
You see what I'm saying? Men, at that point, women will start to be like, oh, well, I'm looking for a protector. I'm looking for a provider. Yeah. I'm looking for, we see on Walking Dead, like these people are looking for, strongholds, right? To with a wall surrounding them to be protected, to be protected from the zombies. We look at that movie, The Book of Eli. You understand what I'm saying? Like women are just out there in the Badlands getting raped and crazy things happening to them. You understand what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is the pandemic is a precursor to that, which is why we can't forget about the fact that the responsibility lies in the hands of the man. You understand? Leadership, even though we're enjoying all of these modern conveniences, we still have to, understand that leadership lies in the hands of men. You understand? Okay.
So what I'm believing that you're saying is that guys have to deal from a position of strength.
We have to.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, because it's something that I've learned, and I'm not a dating coach, but I've talked about it a few times on my channel. Right. What if you're a guy, and you know how when you first start off, dealing with a woman in a relationship or something like that, and then for whatever reason you didn't establish that position of strength early on, and as you said now, things are in a relationship where it's rocky, and you're a younger guy, and that position of strength wasn't established early on. Now there are problems.
Right.
Then is it too late to then try to set the ground rules? Because a lot of guys are there right now where it was like, okay, well, first, because the lady can still be sleeping with you. Because a lot of guys don't know this. Like, you could not have position of strength, but she's still sleeping with you. She's still giving you blowjobs and all that stuff, but she just that respect level is not there because it's not been established.
Right.
So what happens then if somebody's watching this video and like, that's what happened. I've been with this girl for 8 months and I didn't do that at first. Then what do you do then? What do you do now?
Well, see, all right, it depends on a lot of things, but first of all, it depends on how deep the things go, how deep it is as far as emotionally and mentally between you and the female, and if she's coachable enough to come back, right? If she's coachable enough to be rectified, if she's coachable enough to be checked and then corrected. You understand? Mm-hmm. And if that man understands what's going on too, and he understands that he has to unlearn his mistakes and then relearn and then also reteach that to the female. You understand what I'm saying? Like it depends on how deep it goes. If a guy is watching our videos now, and the female is coachable and she's respectful. I mean, mistakes are made, arguments happen, but if she's respectful, coachable, and she appreciates your position as a man in her life, it's possible to relearn and reteach, right? Mm-hmm. But in a lot of situations, once you've messed up, you have to charge a woman to the game, not because she messed up, but because you messed up.
Yeah, say it again.
In some situations, you have to charge a woman to the game, not because she messed up, but because you messed up. You understand? I mean, and there's examples of this even early on when you're trying to just set the first date, bro. Like, a lot of guys think, they're on these dating apps going back and forth with the chick. And it's like, bro, you need to set a date early. You understand? You need to tell her where to be, what time. You might even tell her what to wear too. Cause that's how I run a lot of my game. I let chicks know what to wear. Like I go super hard with everything. And the thing is, once you see that she can follow certain levels of direction from you, that's how you know you can move forward, right? But if you say, all right, meet me at the Main Street bar, and then she takes you back to the mouth, well, I don't like the Main Street bar. Can we go somewhere else? You already know that that's a female she's combative. Mm-hmm. You understand? Because you remember, the setting of the date is not about the venue. The setting of the date is giving you an opportunity to get to know me, for us to get to know each other. So what's the point of meeting at the main? What's the difference, or why is it so important that we can't meet at the Main Street bar? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Your focus is to get to know me. So it doesn't matter which bar we go to or which place we end up at. The point is that you're excited to meet me. If you're not excited to meet me, you're worried about which bar we're going to, then that tells me something about the woman. You understand? And then I have to charge her right there. And a lot of guys don't see that. What they do is they be like, yo, this chick got a fat ass, bro. I don't care what's going on. If you want to meet at bar on Elm Street, I don't care. Like, let's meet wherever you want to meet. You understand? And like once you do that, like for example, she'll say, I don't like the Main Street bar. Can we meet at the Elm Street? Or I don't like the Main Street bar. Can we meet somewhere else? Then a guy will text her back and say, okay, where do you want to go? Once a man says something like that, it's over, bro. It's over because she already sees you as a person that's willing to fold for nothing. So now it's like later on in the relationship when she says, I want a Birkin bag or some nonsense like that. And you say, well, the budget don't really reflect a Birkin bag right now. She looking at you like, you better give me that Birkin bag or you ain't getting no more of this,
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And then he feels like, okay, well, I guess I got to listen to her. Why? Because that's how you started. You understand? Mm-hmm. You were supposed to go to the Main Street bar and you folded. Mm-hmm. You understand? Now that's it. Now you're done. You've lost the game. And what happened is you should have charged her from then, but you didn't. Mm-hmm. You understand? And that's what it really is. Because look, let me tell you something, man. I feel like as much as they say these things in society about, women are equal and women are this and women are that, deep down on a subconscious level, women know their position, bro. They know it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's up to us to remind them. Like, are you familiar with the theory that the human brain knows everything in the universe?
No.
Okay. All right. There's a theory. It's like a philosophical theory that the human brain, like all of the little neurons and all of that stuff, it actually reflects all of the vastness of the galaxy of the universe, of the galaxies of the universe, right? Every little nook and cranny inside your brain reflects everything in the universe, right? So it would be left to be said that we actually know everything. You understand what I'm saying? But what's really going on is that when you learn something, there's something called recognition. You understand? Where you recognize, meaning you recognize what you already know. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, what I believe is that a woman already knows what I'm saying deep down, but it's up to us as men to help them recognize their position and their level when it comes to the natural order of things.
Let me ask you this, because one of the things, and I know a lot of guys over here in this particular community that we run tend to believe that, for example, you talk about the Main Street bar. You're supposed to be at the Main Street bar.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like the Main Street bar. What about this bar? And so when guys hear that, automatically they're like, whoever said that was a black woman. Yeah, because that's how it's gonna take that. Like that was Quisha, that was Tonisha. And so a lot of guys was like, you know what? I'm charging all black women to the game, right?
Right.
And so then there's a theory, and I know you guys have heard it because I know you guys have a multicultural audience, but obviously you've been promoted on Tariq Nasheed's show, so we know that a lot of brothers, call into you and Lucario's show and consume the content.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that believe, the other races of women are a lot easier to deal with, and I don't have to battle so much up front with setting as many firm rules. Like with black women, I have to go back and forth. They're more combative. Right. Other groups of women, they're not as combative.
Right.
So that's why I don't want to date black women, because I'm dealing with more of that masculine energy. I'm dealing with more of that combative energy. And when I'm dealing with, Lucy that's over there, or I'm dealing with, Angela Hernandez and all the people, I'm not dealing with those problems. When I'm dealing with Keisha, right. Yeah, now I have to be more alert. I have to be more on my stuff because she's trying to be more combative with me up front. So, right. So is there some truth that black women tend to be more combative in comparison, that you have to be more, setting more strict rules with them than with other groups of women? Or is that, what do you think about that?
I think there is some truth to that based on the statistical experience of black men in America. But I feel like that all goes back to what I was talking about before with our experience in America, right? I don't see anything wrong with the black woman challenge, so to speak. Because I'm gonna be real with you, bro. My favorite is, I'm like you, I love black women. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody that's attractive to me can get it. But my favorite is chocolate, thick black women with natural hair. That's what I love. You understand? So I don't really think about the differences in women. The way I run my game the same with all women. You understand? So that's why I come from a place of strength automatically. So whatever woman I encounter, she has to follow my rules or else she's not getting anywhere with me. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm all the way running my joint from a position of power, no matter which type of woman I come across. You understand what I'm saying? So I see when I hear guys say stuff like that, you know, and no disrespect to anybody necessarily, but what I hear is the same type of guy who might be, you know he's supposed to get up and go work out, but he's like, oh, I don't feel like it this morning. It's too hard. It's cold outside. It's raining. I don't want to go do this. I don't want to go jog. I don't want to go run. I don't want to go walk. I don't want to go work out. I'm not a supporter of finding reasons to not come from a place of strength. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the let's get it done. I want the smoke. Why? Because I feel like it makes me a stronger man to begin with. You understand? Because again, what I'm in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking that this world that we have is only the way it is, or is mainly the way it is because of modern conveniences. If it was to hit the fan, I would have to be a strong man. You understand? So why not just be a strong man all the time? No matter what type of woman I'm dealing with, and no matter what type of situation I put myself in, I have to come from a place of strength at all times. I have to be responsible for that female. You understand? Meaning that I have to set the example, even when I'm just setting the date. You understand? Even when I'm just approaching her on the, at the venue, or I'm going up to her and I'm saying hello. I have to come from a place of strength regardless. I can't let her, see any weaknesses in me or in my game, because that's the way I like it. You understand? So, I want the challenge, if anything. And truth be told, bro, because of the way that I run my game, I get resistance from all types of women. You understand what I'm saying? Not only black women. So it's like if you're coming from a place of strength, that excuse goes out the window. You understand what I'm saying? Because when I hear guys talk like that, it's like they're trying to be prepared for one type of woman.
I see.
Or they're trying to, or say there's 4 types of women. They're trying to be prepared for 3 of the 4, and they want to leave one out because it's too hard. Bruh, why not be prepared for all of them?
Right.
Why not? Because here's the thing. What starts to go down is then you have guys start to switch up their game for different kinds of women. You understand? It's like, oh, well, she's Latina and she's hot and she's this and she's that, so I'm gonna deal with her this way. But listen, the game shouldn't be about her, bro. Like, what's your identity? You get what I'm saying? Because here it is, right? Who I am is so important that when I'm not around and people are talking about me, I want them to know that they're talking about the same person. You see what I'm saying? I don't want the Latina chick to be talking about me one way and the Chinese chick to be talking about me another way, and then the black chick, if I holler at the black chick, talking about me another way. You understand? I want all of them to be like, oh, that dude Miles Cunningham, he's on point. Like, as soon as we started talking on the dating app, he asked me when I was free, and he set the date. He told me where to be, what time, and it was all good. Oh, he did that too? Wow. And then the Scandinavian chick come through. Yeah, he did the same thing with me. Like, exactly. I want all of y'all to have the same thing, because it's about my identity. I'm not gonna change my identity for a different ethnicity of woman, period.
Yeah, that's a good show by itself, because I've noticed that a lot of brothers tend to try to treat, black women have a little bit more disdain for them, and then they get around the white women and they're much more friendly, they change the game based on the race. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of like this code switching, you know, like how we talking, you know, amongst brothers we get around white folks. And, yes, my name is Miles Aloysius Cunningham. You know, so I definitely, that's a good topic there.
Right.
Let me ask you this, right? Before we talk about before we close out, talk about the documentary. But for guys, let's say if you are not from a place where you had to deal with these positions of strength before, and how do you instill this? Because you know some guys have been doing it their way, whether it's wrong, for 20 years, 30 years,
right?
And how do guys implement this into their life? You know, some guys are not, you know, maybe more dominant guys, and when the way they deal with things, how do they implement these things to set these standards for themselves and dealing with women?
Well, okay, it's gonna sound like a shameless plug, but it is what it is. That's why we have the Bad Boy membership.
Okay,
www.badboymembership.com. Lucario does step-by-step, you know, programs like 45 to 90-minute programs every month, and we're up to like we're in the 90s right now, right? And the reason why I talk about it is because it's a new installment every month, and it's something where you can turn it into a lifestyle because it's ongoing. You understand? It never really stops. It's not like you're just gonna read a book and then that's it. It's like, no, it's an ongoing thing. You know, we also provide email coaching and things like that. But you know, the Bad Boy membership is a viable option. But another way to do it is to just expand your knowledge, right? Expand your knowledge of a lot of different things. Like, because even in the beginning of this interview, we were talking about slavery. We were talking about the different races growing, developing in different sections of the world based on climate and what makes us different sociologically and things like that. Knowledge is power. Seriously, knowledge is your best friend. And the more you know is the more you're able to kind of understand why people do things, or why, for example, why a woman would do things, right? Or why you need to maintain a strong frame, why you need to maintain your identity. Like, there's a lot of valid reasons why this type of philosophy is so important, because and all of that comes with knowledge. All of that comes with general knowledge. You understand? Like, even Christianity, like the study of Jesus Christ. Something important that I find about Jesus Christ himself, or the story of Jesus Christ, right? And not to even be that religious or anything, but just looking at the story of Jesus Christ. That man got crucified because he had a idea about his identity.
Right.
And he shared his identity with others and wasn't ashamed, and he was willing to even die. Mm-hmm. And hold on to the idea of his identity. You understand? Mm-hmm. So a man like Jesus ain't gonna code switch for the Latino.
Right. No, that's a great point.
A man like Jesus is gonna be exactly who he is, no matter what type of chick you put in front of him.
Right.
And that's the importance of the game. That's the importance of understanding who you are as a man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it goes deep, is what I'm saying. It goes deep. But on a practical level, if you want to kind of get into, the type of stuff me and Lucario talk about, the Bad Boy membership is a good place to start. You see what I'm saying?
Let's talk a little bit about the documentary, man, because yes, a lot of guys that we know in our sector that's in there. I know, like Rom's in there, right? Rom, Steve. Talk about the documentary, brother.
So it's a documentary that we got Rom Wills, we got Steve the Dean, we have Boss Mac Topsoil, we have Rosebud Bitter Dose, we have Eddie Fuse and Lucario and myself, right? And it was something that was in the making. Lucario and I, we just had one of our power hours over the phone, and we was like, man, we need to do something to bring the definition of game together. You know what I'm saying? And we looked at all the guys in our market that was kind of saying things on the same type of wavelength that we were saying, as far as the definition of game. And we hollered out, we reached out to them, set it up. We set up a meeting time, and we went to their cities and we filmed them. We've asked them to discuss what their definition of game was, and Lucario and I, we took all of that footage, came back, edited it. You know what I'm saying? We shot our own parts, and then we got some B-roll and put it together. and it turned out pretty good. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about it yet, man, and I really appreciate that. Everybody's been in great support of it. But we made sure that we hollered at guys from different age groups as well, right? Because
okay.
Boss Mac and Rosebud are like the OGs in the game. Mm-hmm. Then you got me and Lacar. Then you got Steve the Dean, Ron Wills. You know what I'm saying? They're also kind of like OGs. And then me and Lucario, like we're like both of us about to be 40 this year, so we're like a little bridge, right? And then you got somebody like Eddie Fuse, who he's a young cat, but he still has a good understanding of the game. So we wanted to include different generations in the documentary as well. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, it turned out pretty good, man, and I'm so thankful that we had the opportunity to do it.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll leave the link to the documentary to your YouTube page, all in the first comment, man. And you really, man, when we're looking to work with you for a while, I've been, working with Lucario, Steve, and Rom for years, and so now we finally got Brother Miles to come on. You did a hell of a job today with breaking this down. We definitely got to come back at talk about code switching for white women. That's a good one. So,
but I want to say something too, real quick, man. Look, I don't think guys understand and somebody did a video on it too, and shout out to them. I forgot who it was, but it was like the talent and the overall, like, dude, I'm a big fan, man. I just want to say that I'm a big fan, and I appreciate all the work that you do. I appreciate how you make us laugh. I appreciate how you come out with this, with the celebrity junk on a daily basis, 2-3 videos a day, bruh. Like, and you out here, studying to be a doctor, and like that is beautiful. And I want you to know that I appreciate it. I want to give you your flowers, while you're still here to receive them. You understand what I'm saying? I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate the work that you do. The fact that you brought so many great people to the market, man, because I know you brought in guys like Donovan Sharp and Kevin Samuels, and you did a lot of work with Ron Wills, Steve the Dean, ARC, like a lot of guys. You collaborate, and you brought a lot of guys together, and you brought so much value. You brought so much value to this market. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say I really appreciate that. I want to give you your flowers while you're still here.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. You don't want to give me, but I'm glad that you. No, and thank you guys, because I like to collaborate, especially with the brothers that because a lot of times when we can talk about our issues on this and what we're going through. So I do think that we do have a lot of talent. I know we started in this space. Obviously, Lucario was doing this before I was YouTubing.
Right.
But now that we're able to really position this strictly to our market, and we just see the black market is just growing. It's just exactly. It's getting better. So I think the guys are like you that don't get enough credit, because you're really good, man. And I was like, I would put you on the dating coach thing. Ivy Kingdom, he won that.
I appreciate
you didn't win, but I
feel good just being nominated, bro. I really appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. And so, guys, check out Miles. Kanye has a lot of good information, a lot of good stuff. Any last words you got, brother?
Like I said, man, don't sleep on O'Shea. O'Shea is a talented man. He's a funny dude. He got a lot of great content. Support his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Check me out on Instagram at Miles in the Game. Miles in the THE Game on Instagram. I got a YouTube channel, Miles Cunningham, and go to Bad Boy Membership, www.badboymembership.com, and get on that. We also have a ongoing contest where you get a Bad Boy cologne from Carolina Herrera. You get a timepiece from Boulevard or something similar, and then you get $100 gift certificate for joining the Bad Boy membership. Well, it's a contest, so if you win the contest, that's what you'll get, and we're gonna have a contest winner every month. So get on that, and really appreciate you. And I'm glad that we got a chance to do this, man.
All right, and again, man, I thank you so much, guys. Check out Brother Miles at the first comment pinned to the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.
Peace.